How y'all doing?
Good.
Doing great, thank you.
Would you mind giving us a tour about this?
I can kind of give you a splash tour in terms of telling where you need to go. But it'll take, to give a tour, it'll take too long.
It will take too long.
Yeah, you're about
We would appreciate that, and would you mind we put it on video?
No, you can do that.
Yeah, because we try to showcase this to students all over the U.S. Yeah, so that would be great. So,
No problem. You can do that.
what's your name?
My name is Hezekiah Watkins.
Yeah.
I'm one of the original freedom riders.
Oh.
That was arrested back in the day. Arrested at the age of 13 right here in Jackson.
All right, so viewers, right here we are at the Mississippi Civil Rights Museum, and we just met Hezekiah Watkins, and he's a civil rights counsel at this museum, and he has a rich history, but he doesn't have much time, but we'll get the best of him today. We are glad that you're able to do that for us.
Thank you, sir.
My name is Dr. Fidelis.
Pleased to meet you.
We run a nonprofit where we go all over the U.S. to document stories about African Americans, immigrants, and scholars who've come to the U.S. through various ways.
Okay.
So this Labor Day week, this Memorial Day weekend, we came all the way from Indiana to this state, and the first stop is right here.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. So, we'll put a mic on you so that you can be able to share a part of your story and a part about, this museum. You started by saying you were
the youngest. I was 13 years old.
13 years old.
Yes, right here in Jackson, Mississippi. I went to the Greyhound bus station where blacks was not allowed in this what they call white waiting room.
Wow.
And I went into the white waiting room. And by doing so,
only went to that room.
Yeah, because I
knowing
wanted
that they wouldn't allow you to be there.
Yeah.
Which year was that?
61.
1961.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, viewers! That's why we do this, folks. We are so lucky to meet Hezekiah today, because look at him. He started fighting for civil rights way in 1961.
Yes.
What took you there at 13 years old?
Well, what had happened, I had been watching television, and I saw the Freedom Riders. They was in Alabama. And by them being in Alabama, I'm in Mississippi. I'm watching the news. And what I saw was just unbelievable. I saw individuals being beaten, being kicked.
Walk here to the light. You saw individuals being beaten and whipped on TV.
Just being done inhumanely.
Yeah.
Then I saw this guy being spat on. And he just wiped it off and said, what kind of fool is this? My thought was, if you spit on me, I'm going to whoop your ass.
Yeah.
That was my mentality at the time.
Yeah.
And I kept watching the news every day. And I could not figure out why they was not retaliating against the abusers.
Yeah.
And then they became my heroes and sheroes.
Yeah.
After finding out what they was all about. So when I heard they was on their way to Jackson, Mississippi, it was a must for me to see them, not become one of them. I just wanted to see what made them do what they was doing, and not fight back.
Yeah.
I wanted to see how they talk, how they dress, how they walk, the whole 9 yards. So I went to the Greyhound bus station.
Oh my goodness.
To see.
Did your parents approve of you?
No.
Did you tell them where you were going and what you were going to do?
I shot hooky from church.
Oh, wow.
And after going there, I was a friend.
So which part of Jackson was the Greyhound bus station at that time?
It's about several blocks, maybe no more than 5 blocks from where we are now.
No more than 5 blocks from where we are?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, the building is still standing, but it's not
It's not a
used as a terminal.
So you go there.
I go there
What happened?
with a friend, church friend.
With a church friend.
Church friend, yes. And
What was the age of your friend and what was his name?
we both 13.
Both 13.
His name is Troy.
Troy.
Troy, yes.
He's still alive?
Yeah, but he lives in Chicago now.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
When you go to the bus station?
yeah, while we was there, we 13. So we are doing what 13-year-old kids would do. And that's play. We playing around the bus station. And in doing so, he kind of eased the door open and pushed me inside. Yeah, like I said, we 13 years old.
Yeah. Those are the games that
We play. Right.
Yeah.
So after being pushed, well, the push wasn't a hard push because I could have prevented myself from going all the way.
Yeah.
I could have very easily stopped with about 3 feet.
You found yourself inside.
But you know,
Obviously, conspicuously, people see who you are. You are not supposed to be there.
well, no one was there, I thought.
No one was there at the time.
We didn't see anyone. So I'm kind of stumbling. I kept on stumbling. I could have stopped back there.
You kept on going in there.
Yeah, I'm in this Greyhound bus station, and I'm looking around.
It looks grandiose.
Man, the white folks living good.
And that is a bus station.
Yeah. So I'm looking. And the next thing I know is,
Oh, you're grabbed by the collar.
yeah, police officer detained me and asked why I was out there. And I told him, I said, officer, my friend out there pushed me in here. He said, what? Officer, he right out there. So he caught me by my wrist, led me on the outside and said, where? I looked to my left. He was not there. I looked to my right. He was not there. He said, I knew you was lying. So he took me in back room and asked 2 questions. Your name and your birthplace. Just so happened, that's another story, but I was born in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And when I told him Milwaukee, Wisconsin, he called for backup.
You called for backup just because he had you born in Milwaukee?
Exactly, because he mistakenly thought I was a freedom rider. Because during this time, the freedom rider was coming from the northern states into...
But you are essentially that. You had gone there deliberately.
I guess you got a point.
I guess you
have a point. You have a point. But I was arrested and taken to the state prison. And then,
which month is that in? Do you remember? Was it in the summer of 1961?
I remember quite well, like it was yesterday.
I'm sure you do.
It was in July.
It was in July.
Yes.
Which state prison were you taken to in Mississippi?
But they didn't have but one at the time.
There's only one at the time.
Back then, there was only one.
Yeah.
And it was the worst prison in these United States.
Oh my goodness.
The name is Parchment Prison. It's in the northern part of the state. That whereas they grew cotton.
What's the name of the prison?
Parchment, but they grew cotton and they grew other vegetables. And you worked when you was at this prison.
You had to work.
Yeah.
Basically, slavery.
Slavery. Exactly. And that's another story, but that's basically what it was, slavery. But then I find out I'm on death row.
You're on death row?
I'm on death row.
For walking to a bus station?
I'm in a cell with the other death row inmates. And
I figure by now your parents don't even know where you are.
They don't.
At the time, there was no communication.
They don't.
I mean, no.
None whatsoever. But the main thing is, I had never heard of death row. Those two words was not in my vocabulary. Okay?
Yeah.
So the other inmates asking me, they refer to me as young blood.
But I'm still wondering, and it's still in my mind, and it's hurting me a little bit. How do they put a 13-year-old on, first of all, in a cell with adults? And were they adults?
Yes.
So they're putting you there with adults.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Had they told you of the crime you had committed?
No crime. No crime. Hadn't told me anything. But how they was able to do it, you in Mississippi.
Yeah.
And that's all that was needed. Being in Mississippi, we set our own rules, laws, and everything else. And if you black, it's going to stick.
Yeah. The black it sticks.
Yeah, yeah.
No defense.
No defense, none whatsoever. And you can imagine being in a cell with big men, tall men, masculine.
And you're just a 13-year-old.
I'm a boy.
A boy?
Yeah, I'm a boy. I'm a boy. Mm-hmm.
You are still alive today. You're still alive to tell the story.
I'm still alive to tell the story. And
over 50 years ago.
Over 50 years ago. Over 60 years ago.
60 years
yes,
ago,
yes.
goodness, that's a long time.
It is. But I'm still
Did
here.
they take you to court? What happened?
Never did go to court. We had a president by the name of John Kennedy. Mm-hmm. His brother was a U.S. Attorney General. And when the Freedom Riders came to Jackson, he had some of his lawyers kind of traveling around with the Freedom Riders, just taking notes, but not intervening in anything that was happening. Just taking notes, reporting back to him.
Yeah.
And these are some things that I'm told. I wasn't there.
Yeah.
But I was told that some way he found out that there was a 13-year-old in Parchman prison.
Wow.
Then he called his brother, which was the president, and told him. His brother called the governor of Mississippi, which was Rawls Barnett.
Rawls Barnett.
Mm-hmm. And asked him, do you have a minor in your prison system? And he lied and said, no, sir.
No, are you sure?
You're not here in Mississippi. Maybe in Alabama.
Oh, my goodness.
But not here in Mississippi.
Yeah.
And I'm told they hung up, and that was it. And I'm assuming the president talked back to his brother and said, the governor said they don't have anyone there. But the following day, one of the governor's workers went to him and said, Mr. Governor, we might be in trouble.
Because there is a minor
He said, because you have lied to the president of the United States. And supposedly he said, call up there and bring him back to Jackson. Parchman is roughly 100+ miles from here.
Yeah.
Call there and bring him back to Jackson and turn him over to the Jackson Police Department. Our hands are clear. So that's what they did.
Eventually now it's like, I mean, you are off the fire into the frying pan of some sort. I mean, you're not free. Yeah.
So the Jackson Police Department called my mother and told her, you need to get down here to the police department.
Your mother had a phone? You guys had a phone that time?
Yeah, we had a... We had a pigeon.
So these fancy things you see these days, and you wonder how that's from phone, right?
Yeah. But we did have a phone, which was...
So you never picked up the phone?
Well, we have, in one of those galleries back there, we have pictures of some of the older things, and that one of them, the phone that my mom had.